Welcome, acolytes. Today I'm reacting to why some people hate anime. Kitsune anime. By Kitsune anime. Sorry about that. Kitsune. Kitsune. Good. Okay, good. I think I didn't F it up this time. So yeah, Kitsune anime. The man that actually gave me this nice little YouTuber that I actually didn't know by now. And probably most of you didn't. And this isn't a dig at him. I mean, look at my channel. You know nobody knows me, or almost no. Only the people that matter, acolytes. But yes, Kitsumi, as I said, from the man himself, agent of social media, chaos. And I am quite interested in this thematic. The anime things just got into me, the fever. And let's just see what he has to say about all those films. And why do people hate anime? Same reasons why they hate anything else.
I want to paint a picture for you. You just finished watching an anime.
That's wholesome. I miss the zombies and skeletons that are under my control in here, but hey.
And not just any anime, but one that is truly special. The characters, the story, everything about it rings so true. And you know that this is an experience that will stick with you for a lifetime. It's the kind of anime that once you finish watching it...
Oh, I just seen the first few episodes of... But how is it called? I already forgot it. No... Basically, the thematic in this anime is that they go in dungeons and basically cook everything they see. It's beautiful.
You just can't stop thinking about it. It burns within your thoughts like a white hot fire, and you just can't help but feel like you need to share this experience with someone you know. So without hesitation, you message a friend about it, eager for them to possibly share in this incredible euphoria you feel after having experienced this amazing story.
By the way, I already know what he wants to say. The friend says, I don't like it. Exactly what happens to me. But I learned the following. You say it, hey, I seen this cool shit. Wanna see it? No, you don't like anime? Well, you're lost. F off.
And when you get that text back from your friend and giddily read over the message, your enthusiasm begins to fade as you read the dreaded words.
Dude, just one amazing anime. You need to check it out. Sounds cool. What is it? It's this new anime called Fear. Oh my god, this is... Oh, it's super... But no, it's not called Frieren. It's called Sosome. Just type in Frieren. You will... In fact, Frieren. Let's just do this. The freaking Frieren. Frieren, nachdem die Reise endet. Wait, is the guy German? Frieren. Wasn't this some Frieren? Maybe I'm wrong, but hey, if I'm wrong, even better. I don't really care about it. Here you have it, Frieren. And by the way, let's see, yeah, 0.75. This start, if you actually watch the anime, you recognize who this is. Yes, it's the elf girl, Frieren herself.
It's from your friend that populate onto your screen.
Oh, I don't really like anime.
You feel somewhat crushed and maybe even a little judged. You begin to think...
I'm gonna be honest, the things that he's talking about right now, it's specifically because if acolytes or acolyte, if you're older than I'm talking to, you know this shit. You probably also say, well, if people don't like it, fuck them. But if you're younger, this can have an influence. And for you, young acolytes, I say, just note everybody will actually like what you like. That's just a fact of life. But you can search for people that actually like the same shit as you and share it with them. it sounds easier than it is, but fact of life is not everybody likes what you like, and that's fine.
Of ways that you can still maybe convince them to watch it, but
Why?
you know the writing's on
Don't
the
waste
wall.
time.
There's no getting through to them.
Yeah.
And it's in that moment you realize you can no longer be friends with this person.
That's extreme. What the fuck?
Okay, well, maybe not that far, but you are a little bit bummed.
You baited me, you son of a bitch. Honestly. Okay, I thought he's arguing on, but no, that's fine, good.
Sure that there's probably a number of us that have been there before, right? Where one of your friends is adamant about disliking anime and don't really seem like they'll ever really change their mind. Now, as someone who makes anime content on YouTube, I'm probably a little bit biased, despite
A little bit, mate. I'm gonna watch everything if you're that funny. And by the way, this is actually quite outstanding. I'm gonna be honest here. He's showing this. I just see his YouTube channel. Look at this. 31k 900. 4k almost. 45. 1k, 6k, 600. He has a lot of 10k. He has a lot of bangers, but then there are those that aren't running as good. I mean, here, why is everyone obsessed with Fearan? I mean, I can tell you why, because it's good. 117k. And he's still only at 5,700... only in quotes. Only at 5,700 subs. How? I mean, this stuff must be good, must be way better, that he deserves way more than this.
Despite this, however, even I have to admit that there are things about anime I'm not as big of a fan of. So I can see how any number of these things could turn someone off enough to where they just don't really feel like giving anime the time of day. Nobody is wrong for disliking anime. That's just their opinion and preference, and they're more than welcome to it. However, I do feel as though that some of the reasons people cite for their dislike of anime are a bit unfair or
No. I'm gonna tell you why. Because most people that I talk to that dislike anime, they dislike it because of the freaking fillers that they get, this drawn out shit like in Dragon Ball. I don't have to see 4 episodes long that freaking Goku puts up a fucking giant fuck of ball and charges it. I don't remember if those were 4 or 5 or even 3, but more than 1 is way too much. In my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people. And by the way, I watch anime, but if I could, I would cut off a lot of unnecessary things. And this is something that a lot of people just aren't willing to sit through. That's all. And that's fine, that's their decision.
Or even downright ignorant, and aren't necessarily sound reasons to dismiss anime as a whole. So today, I wanted to talk about those reasons and why I disagree with them. Which brings us to point number 1. Anime is for little kids.
This point is definitively... I'm going to tell you a funny story about this. Because the woman who said this to me isn't friends with me anymore. Why? She actually said to me, anime is for kids, why are you watching this? You are a kid in my eyes. And I said, okay, hear me out. Okay, it's for kids. Let it be. So, what's your problem with it, or what do you want from me? And she said, could you pick something for my 4-year-old little boy to watch? And I told her, of course I can. Attack on Titan. The uncensored version in Germany. Since then, she didn't talk to me anymore.
Now, this one in particular, I don't see as much nowadays. However, it is still something that I do still come across and was incredibly widespread when I was first really getting into anime. The notion that anime is for little kids, and if you're above the age of 18, you shouldn't really be watching it. And as ignorant as a mindset like this is, I do see how someone could think like this, particularly if they live in America, like many of my viewers do. Of course, there's always exceptions, but for the most part, animation in America is viewed more as a children's medium. And this was no different when anime was blowing up in the States.
And let's just be honest here, most of the time it is. A lot of animes that you see in European countries, because as it is in America, it's the same in Germany or even in Poland, exactly the same thing. I understand why, but I also show their kids Attack on Titan, so you know.
The biggest, most mainstream anime from the 90s and early 2000s anime boom were very much targeted, or in some cases altered, for younger audiences. I could see how anyone who grew up during this time, then later grew out of cartoons, could see shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, or even Toonami-era DBZ, and just assume that every anime is like this. I mean, they came out on children's programming blocks, and two of the most prolific anime distributors in America were called Funimation and 4Kids. Doesn't really give the impression that they're working on things for adults. Something that is only perpetuated when you also take into account the generational gap, most notably baby boomers or even early Gen Xers, people born between the 1940s and the early 1970s. A lot of millennials and Gen Zers that grew up with anime know that there's tons of anime for older audiences. But to the older generation,
if you don't know what this is, Chainsaw Man, look it up. I think funny and well done.
They grew up watching stuff like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, or even stuff like Astro Boy and Speed Racer. Shows all about wacky antics or lighthearted adventures for children. To a lot of American society, this is just what animation is and ever will be. Not saying this is how animation should be seen, but in a lot of cases it is. And it's this mindset that keeps a lot of people...
Full Metal Alchemist. There are a few versions of it, by the way, but I would say watch every single one of them, because you could like the one more than the other. Let's just say it like that.
From enjoying animation or taking it seriously as anything other than a children's medium. A lot of animation has to be made.
Puss in Boots, I love this film. This was like, don't get me wrong, this is a kid's film, but it's so well done. It's and the thematic of just death and actually cherishing your life is so good that even grown-ups should look at it and maybe just start cherishing their lives more.
With children in mind, because that's the only way it'll sell. And if it is for more mature audiences, typically it's going to be a comedic sitcom fueled by abundant adult humor like Family Guy or Rick and Morty, so it's obvious that it's for adults. Of course, in modern times, we are beginning to see it.
Oh, Invincible. Oh, also...
A shift towards less comedic adult animated content, but that doesn't change the fact that this is how it's been for a long time, and that a lot of people do still have this mindset. A mindset that historically just hasn't been that widespread in Japan. For the most part, anime has always been seen as a medium that can be enjoyed by everyone there.
Guess who brought me to anime? Yes. Japanese girlfriend. And if you want to guess, just guess which character she actually played. Should I be maybe a bit more specific? Nah, just guess on if you want.
And not in a, the whole family can sit down and enjoy it kind of way, but more so in that there's just a
No, I should. It was Evangelion.
ton of variety. Not only in what kind of shows there are, but what age groups those shows are aimed at. And I think there's kind of a cultural barrier there for certain people that didn't really grow up with anime.
I forgot how this anime is, by the way, called. So
or grew out of it. Sometimes it's hard to just
I don't
look
know
at
this
an
one.
anime and immediately know who it's
I do. I just didn't see it. Okay, I want to see this one. Okay.
for. In
Well-
one instance, the characters might be having some goofy, lighthearted fun, and in the next, something incredibly traumatic and dark can happen. This can be kind of jarring for some people. Which
It
brings me
is.
to the second reason someone might dislike anime. Anime and its fans are weird. I've heard this one
Okay, let's be honest. They are. But most of them are weird in a positive way.
a lot, and I can kind of get where certain people are coming from with it. Anime does have its tropes, and some of
My
them
Hero
are
Academia?
much less tolerable than others.
And by the way, he's absolutely... I agree with him on every point he did right now, but I am just nostalgically just following everything, Acolytes. Every anime that I spoke the name of right now is for those who actually don't know them and maybe want to watch them, just in case.
I get why anyone could have their hangups because of this, but I also
Yes, that's
think
true.
it is a bit of a generalization. Anime is just like any other
Sword
form
Art
of
Online,
media. It's going to
Myth
have
of
its
the Past.
tropes, yes, but those tropes are also going to vary from show to show.
Yes, that's
just
true.
because you watch one creepy anime, that doesn't suddenly
Oh, this is about a healer guy. I know about this. Just, I think, masochistic healer guy anime, and you find it. You know why if you see it. And he's still correct about it. So
mean all of them are creepy, and the same goes for the fans that like anime. I've seen a lot of people just kind of
Don't know this
assume
one.
that all anime fans are either super immature because they watch stuff that's quote unquote for children, or they're all weirdos because obviously
Don't know
anime
this
is
one.
weird, so that makes you weird too. And this can lead to these fans getting treated badly,
this one.
undeservedly. If you have an anime character as your profile picture, some people might disregard your opinion altogether. And
yes, that's true, but that's also true for, I mean, basically everything. If you have a cross as your profile picture, most people will disregard you. If you have a freaking, I don't know, a flower, most people will disregard you. If you have a dog, most people will disregard you. But you can find people that actually are interested in it.
And again, this is a generalization. Every fan base is going to have miserable people within it, not
That's
just
true.
anime. And just like any other fan base, you can't just assume that everyone in that fan base is a bad apple. That's just not how human beings work.
That's correct. There are some bad apples everywhere, but most people are fine. Most people. But you still have to look for them. And the bad apples, they come out from alone after a while.
And while I'm on the topic of fans, I should also point out that I don't really get the idea that a fan
I don't want to look at this one because of the chibi form, but the premise is interesting.
base can ruin a show. I feel like the fan community that forms around something shouldn't really be
This is Attack on Titan. And there is some fucked up shit. And they probably traumatized the kid with it. Well, his mother technically traumatized him.
a factor
She could also have just informed herself before she did this.
when assessing the quality of that thing. However, this could basically be a video in and of itself, so
Yep.
I'll just keep it at that and move on to reason number 3.
Yes, and he's, by the way, correct about that. The generalization is just there. But as I said, also, that's just how life is. It's
They
didn't like...
don't like the anime style. When here
That's actually quite legit. I'm gonna be honest, I also don't like every style of anime. Like something like this I wouldn't watch, just because of the style.
hearing an opinion I don't really agree with, I always try my best to look at it from a perspective other than mine. But this is one that I've
See, something like One Piece I love. I would watch it just because of that, and if it sucks, it sucks.
always found kind of confusing. Anime isn't a genre or an art style. It's just a word that's used to categorize animation that comes out of
See, I wouldn't watch this.
Japan. Anime, just like Western animation, has a huge variety of art styles and character designs. I just don't really get
Cowboy Bebop. Oh, love it. Oh my, I have to rewatch it.
How anyone can take this vast amount of varying works of art and just
JoJo Bizarre Adventure and
lump
this
it
one.
all under the quote-unquote anime art style. For example, can you really look at something like Ranma 1/2 and say it looks just like Ghost in the Shell? No, of course you
not.
can't, because like I said, they're created by different people with different art style.
Yes, but in this case, I would watch both because I like the art style of both of them. And this is one of the nice things about anime. It has different styles. And believe you me, Katsumi, you won't like a style at some point just because it's the style you don't like. It's normal, by the way. If you don't want to watch something because of it, it's fine. I initially didn't even want to watch Kill la Kill. But then, well, it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, of course there's anime that are going to look at a glance similar to each other, but that's also the same for a lot of different media, not just anime. On top of this, I've also seen people criticize certain animation techniques that anime employs, like having characters remain completely static while only having their mouth move. And while this is true for a lot of
This is also a bit scary. I had to get used to this.
anime, I personally would make the argument that anime, just like any other television show or film, have slower moments in their narrative where complicated animation really isn't that necessary in these moments.
Yes, and by the way, this is a case of taste. Because not everybody likes the slower moments. And as I said, you will just have people that don't like anime.
Yes, there are anime that just have terrible animation throughout.
Oof. Berserk. By the way, Acolytes, read the freaking manga. Look at the Golden Age anime, but don't do the 3D stuff. It looks so bad that it almost destroyed Berserk for me.
But the opposite also applies. I feel like it's a bit unfair to only focus on the anime that have poor or stilted animation, especially when just this year an anime won the Oscar for Best Animated Film. In my personal opinion, I really have not seen anything that impresses me as much as anime has. I love Western animation. It's been with me my entire life. To this day, Aladdin is still probably one of my all-time favorite films. I'm not saying that Western animation is bad, but what I am saying is that to me, anime is just on a completely different level. And
Anime, specifically the Japanese thing, is on a different level. I would agree with him on that. But it's also a different style.
And so it kind of makes me sad that there's people that won't even give it the time of day just because it is anime.
Bro, just accept it. Just accept it. It is what it is.
Which brings me to my final point, and where I believe all of these hangups begin to combine into one. And that is that some people have just never given anime a chance. This can relate to just about anything, not just anime. If our brain is dead set on not liking something, chances are we're going to be stubborn about not enjoying that thing. I know because I myself am guilty of this.
Everybody is guilty of this. Don't worry about it. You just, at some point, you should just open your mind and say, hey, okay, fair enough. And maybe controversial, maybe not, but even with the lolicon stuff, I actually had to open my mind and see what the differences between those things are. Change my mind. Not on everything, but I changed my mind on a lot of things.
I never liked Lord of the Rings. Everyone talked about it like it
blasphemous. Burn the witch. Oof.
was the greatest thing ever. Constantly compared it to my favorite movies, and it was just everywhere. I got sick of it, and because of this, I declared that not only did I hate Lord of the Rings, but that I would never watch it to spite everyone who worshipped it.
Yeah, and what did it do for you? Nothing. Just watch it, decide for yourself if you like it or not, and then. Because you don't spite people by not doing something. Do it, and if you like it, just rub it under their nose. That's way funnier.
bitter about it. And looking back, this was really stupid of me.
Yeah, it
I was
was.
basically depriving myself of a super cool story just because I was being stubborn and not
Yep.
even giving that thing a chance. And I feel like this is something that people do with anime
Yep.
as well. There's a good
Not just with anime, with every single thing on this world. But yes, I still agree with you.
chance that there's any number of people who had a bad experience with anime and now because of that one experience would rather write it off completely than ever give it a second chance.
I mean, yes, and this makes, by the way, sense if I lose just time on something that's, even if it's totally hyped up. A Hotel Transylvania is a good one, by the way. It was totally hyped up by people I knew. And at some point I was like, come on, it cannot be this good, blah, blah, blah. And then I seen it and was like, damn, Adam Sandler movie this good? I expect that.
And look, people are allowed to have their opinions. If you're watching this and are shaking your
course.
head all the way through, disagreeing with everything that I say, then that's fine. You are welcome to your opinion. But I also feel like completely disregarding anime, well, is kind of silly.
Yeah, it is. Give it a chance. If you don't like it, you don't like it, that's fine. But if you could actually lose on something that you like. And on the other hand, there are so many things in anime or that you can watch that it's just confusing.
Anime is a huge well of creativity. And I feel like even if you hate the vast majority of it, somewhere there's an anime for you because there's an anime for everyone. And if you do
That's
wind
true.
up finding that anime, there's a good chance that it could have the potential to give you a completely new perspective.
I agree with the man. Kitsune anime, please show him some love. Love this guy. Good stuff. Definitively gonna watch some of his things, maybe privately, maybe reacting to it. But as it is, acolytes, good night.